I'm going to go straight across to Indrajit Kundu, getting in more details on that big story that he's tracking. Also in conversation with the former minister in the Sheikh Hasina government at that point in time. Of course, Indrajit, the period of uncertainty, really questions being raised on what next as far as Sheikh Hasina's own stay here in the country is concerned. A pertinent question that you asked of the minister as well. Extremely unsure, but tell us, what are the legal options before the Awami League today?
Well, this was one of the
Yes.
most important questions for the former Home Minister of Bangladesh. He was the second in command after Sheikh Hasina in every sense of the term in the government. And he was one of the three convicts in this case. So it was Sheikh Hasina, and then it was the Home Minister Asaduzzaman Kamal, who just spoke to me just a short while back, shared his first reaction to India today, and I did ask him what is the legal step that they are contemplating at this point in time. There is no clear answer. The good part is that as far as the Awami League side of the story is concerned, that the Bangladesh government won't be able to execute this verdict because both Sheikh Hasina, Asaduzzaman Kamal, and all the top leaders and ministers of Awami League, they're out of the country. Sheikh Hasina, of course, has taken shelter here in India. So Bangladesh will obviously try to get her repatriated. So her extradition would be a huge question, a bone of contention between India and Bangladesh. But what Mr. Asaduzzaman Khan just told me when I did ask him that does he fear that India might extradite, all these top leaders, including himself. So he said that India is the one who actually helped Bangladesh, helped in the creation of Bangladesh in the liberation war in 1971. And the fact that there were so many people who came in from the other side of the border and they have been given shelter here in India. So he expects a proper step from India at the right time to solve the problem is what says. So it clearly shows that the Awami League as a political force which has now been banned in Bangladesh, they are looking at the solid and sturdy support of India for their political resurrection. Now, Awami League is a political party based in Bangladesh. Their entire top leadership is in exile right now. But there is an interim government which is in operation in Bangladesh right now. And India will have to deal with another country, another sovereign country and its government. So it is an interim government led by Mohammed Yunus. India had to accept that. And Prime Minister Modi did meet Mohammed Yunus, you would remember, in Thailand. And there have been talks and engagements, government-to-government engagements ever since. Now, there is a thaw in relationships, even though a period of cold strife between the two countries when there were some statements made by Mohammed Yunus which did not go down well with the Indian establishment. But this case brings in a new dynamic because Bangladesh will, of course, be seeking, the extradition of Sheikh Hasina. In fact, all through the proceeding today, the court read out the evidences, and some of those evidences are media reports. And media reports or interviews of Sheikh Hasina given to Indian media. Some of these statements have been made by Sheikh Hasina while she has been staying in India. So these are something that has been raised again and again, and it is catering to the public sentiment in Bangladesh. There seems to be some sort of an anger in Bangladesh, and anti-India sentiment is on the rise, given the fact that India has given shelter to Sheikh Hasina.
That's
So
right.
all
It's
these
very
things
interesting
will
how
play
this is
out
going to
over the
play
days.
out as far as India's own relationship with Bangladesh is concerned. What next for Sheikh Hasina? Of course, she's also made a statement already speaking to India today, has said this is biased and politically motivated. We'd like to tell our viewers that's the first statement of Sheikh Hasina. She says ruling by a rigged tribunal with no democratic mandate. The former Prime Minister of Bangladesh's response, the first response to death sentence after crimes against humanity conviction. I'm going to go straight across to Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, this is a very delicate situation, isn't it, as far as Sheikh Hasina's own position within India is concerned? She's been here for months together. Now, talk to us about how our government is looking at what has been said by the court, now ordering that sentence to Sheikh Hasina.
Absolutely, Sneha. This is not only a delicate situation for former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, but this is also a very delicate situation as far as the India-Bangladesh ties are concerned, because there exists an extradition treaty between India and Bangladesh. Initially, Bangladesh has sent a note verbal seeking the extradition of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to Bangladesh. But now, after having a legal process, though it's a sham legal process, because Sheikh Hasina did not get an adequate opportunity to present her case, to defend her case in the court. However, Bangladesh has right, and now they will press upon, as Indrajit was also mentioning, that they will press upon for an informal legal and extradition process from India. Now, India has to assess that, how long they can sustain, and how we want to take forward this process, because we share a long border with Bangladesh. We have diplomatic ties with Bangladesh, and we do not want to to let our relationship jeopardized because of a political process. But it's an internal process of Bangladesh. But the larger question remains is that the kind of element who are in power in Bangladesh, the way they are dealing with Bangladesh, and the kind of unrest, the kind of situation in Bangladesh, this is very precarious, because people are on street. Awami League might be down, but it's not totally out. There are certain section of in society, those who are sympathizers of Awami League. Besides that, there is a large section of Bangladeshi people, those who think that the Muhammad Yunus government did not deliver on many things. There are political parties who have protested, those who have expressed their concern about the efficacy of the Muhammad Yunus government, the kind of the July charter on which Muhammad Yunus want a referendum. Besides that, he has already assured to hold an election in February 2026. But if the situation deteriorates further, then will there be an election in Bangladesh? So there are many ifs and buts. There are many
Well, the political
unanswered
uncertainty
questions
there
here.
continues, doesn't it? I'm going to bring in Gaurav Sawant also for his views on what has happened now. And Gaurav, the biggest question before Bangladesh is what next? Because the uncertainty here continues. You have a death sentence for Sheikh Hasina. Of course, this is going to be challenges, what we understand from what they have indicated already. But what is it that you are learning? And how do things look like for the beleaguered nation in any case?
So it's a tough road ahead for Bangladesh,
Yes.
because remember, Sheikh Hasina has called this trial a farce. She's been sentenced to death. Asaduzzaman, the then interior minister, has called this trial a farce. He's in hiding, the then interior minister. However, the then inspector general of police, he was present in court, sentenced in this case. From what we are learning, he also turned approver and pleaded guilty on all charges. So if the motions of the legal process have been followed, however, Sheikh Hasina, and what we hear from those close to her, she herself has spoken to India today and said this is a farce. Those close to her saying this is a one-sided verdict. The other side wasn't heard. There was no transparency in this system. Also, do keep in mind, Bangladesh is currently, while Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate, maybe the interim head of the country is being run by radical Islamists, Awami League supporters, workers, cadre. They've been targeted, killed, injured, jailed, in exile. So it's a tough position. Look at the manner in which Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and other minorities have been targeted and systematically targeted since August 2024 in Bangladesh. The Hindu monk remains in custody. So it's a matter of grave concern. In all of this, do we see a transparent process? Clearly not. Point one. Point two, do we see free and fair elections? Let's see if elections are actually held in February 2026, because Sheikh Hasina and those close to her insist that Muhammad Yunus does not have the mandate. Radical Islamists are running Bangladesh, and Pakistan's ISI is making deep inroads in Bangladesh. So all along the 4,000 odd kilometers of India-Bangladesh border across multiple states, including Bengal, the situation could turn precarious in the weeks and months ahead.
What are the immediate implications, if at all, on India, apart from the dilemma on what to do next as far as her stay here in the country is concerned? Would you expect the government to respond to these developments as well?
Well, due process will be followed as far as India and Bangladesh are concerned. Remember, they're two neighbors, two very close countries, and India's also kept a door open for engagement with Bangladesh in an environment where people in Bangladesh will be protected. There are certain expectations that India has of Mohammad Yunus and his administration. Remember, their national security advisor would be coming to India and interacting with India's national security advisor. So communication channels always remain open. On the aspect of extradition, has this been a free, fair, transparent process? Again, due process will have to be followed. It will have to be examined both at legal levels and at diplomatic levels before a call is taken. But India perhaps will not put Sheikh Hasina in harm's way.